talked about Justine and Michael at all this season because they're just boring to me, and I really don't know why WeTV even brought them back to begin with. I guess they just want to see their whole pregnancy through. But in this last episode, they had me rolling my eyes so many different times. If F Them Kids was a person, that would be Michael and Justine. Mainly Michael, because he's the one who is abandoning his children. But Justine is just perfectly fine with it. She's like encouraging him to leave his children that he hasn't been with for the past 6 years. It seems like Justine really doesn't seem to care too much as long as her kids are taken care of. And yes, it's Michael's decision at the end of the day, but especially after Justine said Michael's two youngest hasn't even spent any time with him at all in the free world since they were born. That just broke my heart, and here he is just creating more distance between them. It's just hard to justify that in my eyes, and Michael keeps saying, I have to make it, and his plans are to move to Vegas, and he thinks him moving to Vegas is where he's finally going to get his big break and make it big. And this dude is in his late 30s, and I'm not saying you can't make it in your late 30s. I mean, you can make it in your 40s, your 50s, but we have to think that he's on a national TV show, and this is probably like the most eyes he's gonna have on him, and so far he hasn't made it big. Like, he's not even doing a whole bunch of club appearances. The demand for Montana Mills just isn't there yet, and I'm confused. What does he think he's going to do? Is he going to go to Vegas and thinks he's going to get like this residency or something? And I'm confused why he thinks going to Las Vegas is going to be the place for his big break. Because when I think of people moving to try to make it big in rapping, I think of them moving to California or going to Atlanta. I guess he's just wanting to go to Las Vegas because that's where his manager Mocha's at. But so then Michael and Justine and their 100 kids all go to breakfast with both of the families. And during the breakfast, Michael drops the bombshell that him, Justine, and Justine's kids are moving to Vegas. And so, of course, Michael's children start breaking down and crying. And Justine's mom and Michael's mom were acting like they were shocked that Michael and Justine were moving. But Justine's mom already knew they were moving before this, so I don't know why she was acting shocked, because I came across a Sarcasm article that talked about this house that Justine had purchased, but the thing is, Michael wasn't even on the deed. Justine needed a co-signer, so she had to get her mom to co-sign this house. The home they ended up getting was a little under $500K, and it was a 5-bedroom home in Las Vegas. And Justine and her mom were on the deed, and that takes at least a month to get all the paperwork and everything ready. So the mom already knew. And plus, it sounds like Michael isn't making as much money as he's trying to lead everybody that he makes, because he's trying to act like, oh, I got enough to take care of the whole house. Justine can quit her job. I'm the breadwinner. Yeah, he can't even be a co-signer on the house because he doesn't make enough. Remember when Justine was looking at the house last season that was like $1.9 million? And she's like, oh yeah, we can make it work. And you know, I'm confident because you never know, because he could have his next big hit tomorrow and our whole world will change. And it's like she's living in a fantasy world. And I already knew then that that scene was scripted as hell, but I got my confirmation even more now, knowing that Justine couldn't even get the house with Michael for $500,000 without her mother. So there's no way they would have ever been able to afford a house that was 4 times the price. So Michael's kids were crying, and they're pretty inconsolable for a minute. And Michael was trying his best, along with Justine and Michael's sister, to help calm the children down. And this is what really got me. Michael was like, you know, I gotta follow my gut feeling. My gut feeling's telling me to go to Vegas. It's like your gut feeling or your heart's not telling you to stay with your children. So Michael knows he's looking pretty bad in this moment. So he tries to do what he can to minimize the situation. And he's like, don't worry, kids. I'm going to fly you guys out twice a month. It's going to be, just like you're with me every other weekend. Just how it'd be if I was closer to you. And it's like, how are you going to afford to fly that many kids out twice a month? You know how expensive that's going to be and how fast that's going to add up? Plus, we gotta remember, when Michael was living only a state away from his children for over 5 months, he didn't even see his kids at all. So if he can't even see his kids within 5 months, I doubt he's gonna fly his kids in twice a month while they're living across the country. Then this is what really got me. Michael and Justine dropped the news that they're moving without Michael's kids to Las Vegas. And they were all inconsolable. Michael's kids did not know what to think. They were crying. And Michael and Justine and his sister, they're all holding the kids, trying to calm them down. Then after a few minutes, Michael and Justine were like, yeah, by the way, we gotta go. They just dip out, leave Michael's sister and both of their mothers to pick up all the pieces and deal with Michael's crying kids. And then Michael goes back home and he's packing. And then suddenly he gets a call from his parole officer saying that he needs to come check in for some reason. I don't know how much I'm buying this scene. It just seemed like production was like, okay, we can't just film you packing up boxes and getting ready to move. We need to make it interesting. So 1 second, Michael's saying, oh yeah, I'm on federal probation and I'm on state probation. And both of them approved for me to move. So I'm all good to move to Vegas. And then next minute, he gets a call from his parole officer. He sees his parole officer. Then he comes out and he's beating on his steering wheel, all pissed off. And he says that he forgot to turn in some slip, which was like an expedition slip. And of course, if you're going to expedite your parole process and move it, then that's something you need to take care of. And I guess now he's not sure if he's going to be able to move a week from now. Then as soon as he found out that news, Justine happens to call him, and he said he didn't have the balls to tell her on the phone. He'd rather wait and tell her to her face. So I guess we're going to see that go down next episode. We only have like 2 or 3 episodes left of this season before Mama June comes on for a few months. Michael and Justine are just the definition of selfish. And I'm about tired of them matching their freaking outfits every single week. And Michael is sitting here trying to act like, oh, I'm going to fly my kids out twice a month. But it's like, if you barely see your kids when you lived a state away from them, I doubt much is going to change once they're living halfway across the country. And it just seems like he's not putting in nowhere near as much effort as he's putting in for his kids as he is to be there for Justine and her kids. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes and cosmetics at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.